Okay, so now that the layers are rasterized, can I change the color? The answer is, of course, yes. We have to select the pixels that we want to change and then change them. So let's say that I'm in the Photoshop layer. I want to change the colors of the O's. So I'll make a selection around this O and either click on add to selection, or if I'm in new selection, press shift, and that would make me add to my selection. I'll zoom over to make sure that I have a great selection. So here I might also add this part just to make sure that my selection is good. So now that I have these two letters selected, how can I change their colors? Many ways. The easiest way is to go to edit, to image, adjustment, and hue saturation. When I go to hue saturation, if I change the hue, the colors will change. So let's say that I want them bluish. So in this case, -155. I'll press OK. Now I'll select the layer, the reflection layer. I'll lower down the selection like this. Alright, so now the O is properly selected in the other layer, but if I zoom over here, I would see that I have part of the T selected also. I want to remove that. So I'll press Alt and remove that selection. And maybe force the selection up here. Again, Control U and -155 to get the same color for my reflection. And then to remove the selection, what do I press? Control D, and my selection is gone. So here you saw that, of course, you can change the colors after the text is rasterized. Alright, so now we want to change the opacity of parts of a layer and not the whole layer. So let's get something. Let's get the ducky. And we want to get just the ducky, so I'll select the white like we did before. Select inverse, and then with the move tool I'll bring it down here. I can close the ducky image now. Control T and scale it down. And put it over here maybe. So now I want to have a reflection, but I want the reflection to fade out, which is to reduce the opacity on parts of the image only and not the whole image. Because here, with the Photoshop reflection, I reduce the opacity on the whole layer, reflection layer. So I'll call this layer Ducky. I'll duplicate and I'll call it Ducky Reflection. And I'll press shift and move it down a bit, and then edit transform and flip vertical. You see, I'm pressing shift so that I don't move it by mistake horizontally. Alright, I'll link the two duckies together and scale them down so that they fit. I'll put them here at the side. I need more space in my image. How can I add more space? More white space. I'm gonna go to image and canvas size. The canvas size will add empty space on your image. It will not stretch out your image. It will add empty space. So canvas size. I want the space to be added at the right side. Therefore, I'm gonna click here so that the space will expand to the right side. See the direction of the arrow. If I click there, the direction goes to the left, so I'm going to add the space at the left side. That's the newly added space. So in my case, I want to add the space here, so I click there, and that will be added. I want to add it in width or in height? In width. So here, I have percent. Let's say 150%. So half the image will be added. So I'll press OK. And now I have extra empty space, but I did not touch the existing parts on the image that I had. Alright, so how will I now fade out the reflection of the ducky? Let's hide the original ducky and work on the reflection only. I'm gonna make a selection. If I make a selection like this and press delete, I will cut it like this in a very ugly manner, so I'll undo. Instead, what am I going to do? I'm going to make a selection like this here. And then choose select and feather. The feather will smooth out the selection. Therefore, when I delete, I will get a gradual fading out of this image. So let's go by 50 pixels and press OK. So if I press delete now, see what I'm going to get. This is going to be opaque, but this is going to start to disappear until it disappears down here. Actually, I'm going to lower it down, so this will be the maximum deletion. So delete, and there you go. If I press delete another time, I will multiply the effect. Okay, I'll repeat. First, I have a selection. The selection should be centered to the part that will be deleted the most, which is the head of the ducky in this case. So I'll go to select and feather. The feather will smooth out the selection. So it won't be as sharp as it is right now, but it will be smoothed out. The feather radius is the amount of smoothing. So I chose 50 pixels and I press OK. Again, make sure that the selection is centered to the part that will be deleted the most and press delete. If I press delete another time, I will force the effect even more. But I want it like this maybe. Maybe I can choose select and transform selection to scale up the selection and then press delete to get something like this. But you don't have to do that. So Control D. Now when I show back the other one, I'll see that this is fully opaque. This is fully opaque here, but then it starts to fade out. I can, if I like, change the opacity, and that would give me the actual required effect. If I press Control T now, since both are linked, I will get this. So here, the extra thing that we learned is how to actually fade out one part of a layer by feathering the selection and deleting. Deleting is one way. There is another way which would actually not delete parts but hide them, and we'll see that later using layer masks.